Cover me! Hey, move up, guys! Come on! This way! Move it or I'll shoot you myself!
Hello everyone. We are down to the 1 hour and 9 minute mark, as you can see in the lower right corner of the screen. Actually, maybe you can't because I might be in the way. And so far, the story so far, I actually skipped recording a few turns because mostly it was a lot of approach march and stuff like that, and I think I recorded enough to give you the gist of it. I advanced across this field over here, it being a yellow danger area. This area over here, I blasted through the hedgerow here and didn't take any fire. Figured it's green, it's clear, so we just ran right up here. And over here on this left-hand side of the map, I've come across 3 enemy bunkers, although I only have a tentative spot on that one. And we took some machine gun fire, took a couple of casualties, but I got everybody in cover, and now we're just sitting here waiting for artillery timers to tick down. I have one forward observer over here. This guy is currently operating my 240mm artillery barrage, which is going to be a quick, heavy barrage right here on this line, because at the time I called it in, I couldn't actually see this bunker over here. So I just figured, you know what, I'm going to hang one end of it on the target reference point, and then I'm going to draw the other end over the location. I had a contact, but I couldn't actually see the bunker, so I drew the other end of the line over the bunker. Now I'm hoping when they say fire for effect, I have enough time, if the turn flips over, I can do adjust fire, and then I'll do a point target on this bunker. However, for insurance, my 4.2 inch or 107mm mortars are also doing a point target quick barrage right here on this bunker. This guy has been able to see them. You would have seen previously on the turn replay that they snuck around over here, thankfully without getting shot. And I'm hoping to be able to use these two forward observers, one over here, one right here, in tandem. I'm going to have this guy, after he finishes his shoot on this bunker, if it's dead, he's going to sneak along up this line of hedges over here until he can spot the next bunker, and then he's going to call for fire on that one. Meanwhile, with that bunker over here taken out, it will at least make things slightly easier to move laterally, and this middle bunker is able to be spotted from this position right here. This is why I split my guys into small teams and I spread them out a lot, is because it allows me to see what position I can spot targets from. It's kind of an easy way of checking line of sight without actually checking line of sight. So all I'm going to do is, once this guy's shot is finished, if that bunker is destroyed, he's going to run back out on the road, he's going to pelt his way right down here, and he's going to get into this hedgerow under the tree, where he'll be able to spot the middle bunker, and then he's going to call for fire on that one. Now, even with target reference points, the 240 millimeter artillery still takes about 12 minutes to call in. So it's going to take 12 minutes, 24 minutes, and then if we're able to get a spot on this last bunker, 36 minutes to call in for fire on all of them. Now, I don't want to sit here for 36 minutes and let the enemy mill about behind the high ground and do whatever the hell they want. So, on this side, as my infantry teams came up here into this hedgerow, they got a contact, I'm assuming sound contact, something like that. They got a contact of some kind on two bunkers, one here and one here. Now, the range from this hedgerow right here to those bunkers is rather short. And what I'm banking on is that that range is inside bazooka range. So what I've done is I've split off 6 bazooka teams. I have 2 teams here with the weapons platoon. I have 1 team here with the... oh, that's weapons platoon. He's got 1 team. This team, the engineer platoon. Now this engineer platoon seems almost perfect for the job in hand. I'm taking both of his bazooka teams. And then I also have bazooka team with 2nd Platoon HQ, etc., etc. Basically, I'm detaching all the bazookas I have available. They're all going to quick move right to here. They're going to regular move up through the hedgerow. And then once they get to the other side, they're going to sneak along the inside of either hedgerow until they're all in position. And then all 6 teams are going to turn and line up on this hedgerow right here. Now, my hope is that 6 bazooka teams all firing at once should be able to take out 2 wooden bunkers before the 2 wooden bunkers are able to return fire and kill everybody in the bazooka teams. It's a gamble, but I think it's pretty much the best one I have. I'm also going to have to remember to remove my infantry teams. In fact, why don't I do that now before I forget? These guys are going to fall back to here, and these guys are going to fall back to here, because there's no sense in taking casualties that I don't have to take. The only guy is going to be up on the line. I have these engineers, they're moving up, mostly because I was worried about the possibility of mines, because anytime you see scenario designers putting rubble and flavor objects in, like, that just tells me, come on dude, there's probably landmines under there. I'll bet there is. But hopefully there isn't. Hopefully there isn't. They're going to be moving slow in any case, and that means that they'll be pretty mine resistant. I also have the engineers here. If they need to come out here and mark mines, they can, although that's going to be exceedingly dangerous with 2 well-stocked heavy machine guns staring right at them. However, all that being said, my backup plan for this side is to eliminate this position and allow me to flank this line of bunkers along their trench line over here. My backup plan for this position, because you should always have a backup plan, are these guys down here. This guy is going to blast a gap in this hedgerow right here. This guy is going to blast a gap in the hedgerow right here. And then I'm going to send teams through to get eyeballs on this position down here. Now, so far I haven't had any contact markers or anything. I have no idea what's here. My anticipation is that there's going to be an enemy infantry squad dug in, probably in trenches. I hope there is not bunkers, because if there are wooden bunkers all the way down here as well, then one or the other of these plans is going to have to succeed. Either I just arty these into the dirt, all three of them, and then I can move off this way, or my bazooka teams eliminate these two, allowing me to cut straight across this little field right here. Because if there's bunkers down there, then there's no possibility of flanking this position at all, because I don't have any weapons that are capable of taking them out. This is just strictly an infantry platoon advancing on a gamey edge rush all the way down here, and then I'm going to get into this hedgerow. And if it is just infantry, I'm hoping that with heavy machine gun, water-cooled M1917, and a 60mm mortar, maybe with a couple of rifle teams just in support, we should be able to eliminate this position quickly, if it's infantry. So, at the very least, that's where the situation sits. I've only got like 2 minutes before my artillery starts coming in, and then I'm going to have to start calling it on the next bunker, and then the next one. And it's going to take my bazooka teams probably, I say, 3-4 minutes to get into position right here. And once they're all in position, they're all just going to sneak on over to the other side of the hedgerow line, and then they're all going to open fire on these guys. I'm going to use like target arcs just to limit them to right here. Hopefully one or the other works. If it does, I'll record it. If it doesn't, I'll also record it. And I'm sure a good time will be had by all. Other than that, my harassment barrages with my mortars are still going in. I've got 60mm mortars landing all up and down this trench line. You might have noticed very early on, the enemy infantry that was in the trenches behind the bunkers abandoned their position. A bunch of them ran down this way, and they're now hanging out in this destroyed house. So I'm wondering, maybe when my 240mm barrage comes in right here, it might kill a few dudes in there. Other than that, I've got my 81mm mortars on a linear barrage among all these big buildings over here. They're just working them over, dropping a harassment barrage. Mostly what I want to do is, if there's any enemies back here, I want to keep them bottled up inside the houses, which will allow me to flank them down here or flank them down on this end and capture them and eliminate them, because the mission briefing did state that any enemy forces that escape off of the map will be seen later on in the campaign, i.e. they will carry over to the next battle. So I want to try to prevent that by conducting, so far, my plan is to conduct a double envelopment. And you might be wondering, well, what are we going to do over here? Well, this is a small special force. Right here, we have the Weapons Platoon HQ Lieutenant Lennox, along with a 1919 A6 team. I think we have a BAR team, we have a bazooka team, and we have an engineer team with 2 demo charges. And that's about it. Their job, once 1 or 2 of these bunkers have been eliminated and it's now safe to move across this lower field, which may or may not be safe, because there is still that other bunker up here. Most likely he's facing in this direction. If it's not safe, we're not going to move, but if it is safe, the idea behind those guys is to come in down to here. There should be a gap, I think, right here. I'm pretty sure that's a gap and it's not just a map thing. It's always hard to tell. There's definitely a gap right there. So the idea behind those guys is to be kind of like a tertiary backup plan, to move down here, move over to here. They may have to blast their way through this hedge. I forget if there's a gap. No, there isn't a gap. So they'll have to blast their way through this hedge, which will allow them access to the rear of this position over here. They have a bazooka to take out the bunker if they need to, because that bunker's facing away from them down this way. So maybe that'll work. If not, they're just going to blast their way through here if they have to wait. And that should give them access all the way down here to this area, and there's a gate right here, which will take them right down into the building behind. And there'll still be mortars coming in, pasting these buildings. Otherwise, they're going to move around down here. I mean, it's still tentative. It's still tentative. That's the general idea. Whether or not it actually comes to fruition or is able to be followed out, I don't know. But I just want to keep a small force with some good automatic firepower and some demo charges and a bazooka, etc. Just kind of in reserve, just to throw them down this long line right here. If they're able to get all the way through, great. If they can't, if they got to like skirt around or join the fighting in the middle again, so be it. But, you know, I'm just trying to retain that option. And I also have this platoon right here, a second platoon of D Company. They're still in reserve. I have no job for them planned. I have nothing, there's nothing I can do with them, because first platoon has the job of actually advancing on this defensive line here, which is why they're waiting for the artillery to drop. So second platoon, you know, if the situation changes, second platoon may be tasked with moving off down this left-hand flank over here. And then this little force right here will become a new reserve. And of course, once my mortar teams run out of ammo, they can also be used as ad hoc infantry if I need to. I mean, they've got guns and ammo, why not? So we'll see what happens there. But my hope is that I'm able to get down deep past this bunker defensive line and down into kind of an exploitable area before this harassment barrage ends. They're only dropping about 1 round every minute, give or take. I've got like 4 tubes working over this area, and they're each dropping 1 round a minute. They've still got about 30 minutes worth of fire. So if in the next 30 minutes I'm able to clear up one of these problems and penetrate the enemy position, penetrate, it'll at least put me into a position where I can possibly exploit maybe moving down this field over here, getting around behind this kind of walled-in compound, because this white building right here seems like a decent spot to command some fire lanes going up and down the main road, etc., etc. Otherwise, I could try getting into the church over here. The only problem is that this wall is solid, so I'd have to blast my way through it. Otherwise, I could embed myself into this hedgerow over here, just facing in this direction, so any enemy forces that get flushed out by the main attack on this side can run square into across the rifle muzzles of the guys on this side. But that's looking way far ahead, and as I said in the TTP videos, do not use the planning phase as a script. Like, don't try to write a script with your plan. So I'm not going to. I'm just discussing possibilities. As of right now, the only thing I'm trying to do is either knock out these 2 bunkers with bazookas or knock out these 3 bunkers with artillery, whichever one comes first. Otherwise, I have a third plan of moving down on this flank if there are no bunkers down here. If there is one, I'm stuck, at least until one of these other 2 plans works. So, I think that's about it. We're going to continue whacking out a turn or 2 at a time. I'm doing the best I can, but it is the middle of December and it is the holiday season, and so I'm busy doing a lot of other things. So, I don't know. We'll see where things end up. Anyway, until next time, see you later.